What's good, everybody? Welcome in to the Early Edge in Week 1 of the NFL. We are powered, as always, by... You know what? I don't think we're going to do that anymore. That's because right here, right now, I told you on Twitter, and I've been telling you for 3 years, we're working towards something. We're building towards something, but we haven't been able to do it without all of you. So today, Week 1 of the NFL, we are going to announce that moving forward, the Early Edge will be presented exclusively by the king of all sportsbooks. That's right. BetMGM is our official sponsor, our official presenter. They're all in. They want us to do what we do every single day, and I could not be more excited. You don't have to ask us anymore, where do those lines come from? Because now you know. We'll have a ticker at the bottom of every single show presented by BetMGM. We're going to do a whole bunch of fun things partnering with them. This is what we've been waiting for, and this is what we've been working towards. But the work starts right now because we've got 13 games to go through, 8 at 1, 5 at 425, and I got 3 of my absolute very best. Let's bring in the star of the show, or the stars of the show, depending on where you live. Look at who I've got. My 5-tool player, AB, the counselor of cash. He just drove 1,000 miles to be ready for this morning. That's dedication to the brand. And finally, the man who's been sitting in the lab nonstop, Proppy 3 times, PropStarz. Real quick, before we get to today's games, I know we had a lot of controversy, Counselor, on Thursday night with our gem pick. You originally had it. It hit, but we made you change it because the lines changed. Are you okay about that today?
Well, I think we can properly put an asterisk next to the gem from here on out, to be honest with you. And speaking of BetMGM, they had Amon-Ra St. Brown at plus 1,200 pretty much up until kickoff. We had it at plus 1,000 at DraftKings and FanDuel, but it dropped in a couple of places. But props to BetMGM. And I know Proppy might have something to say about that too, because their prop numbers are really, really good. Am I okay about it? The answer is still kind of no, but we'll see. I'll be on the next 2 primetime games. Maybe I'll hit both of those, and then it'll be water under the bridge.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Now, I need all of you to hit that like button for me, because these NFL shows, these specialty shows, they're big for us. Help us with the algorithm, so when you log in, we're right there at the top. Now, also tonight, prime time early edge, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Cowboys and the Giants, Sunday Night Football. We've got a full show for you there as well. But gentlemen, if you don't mind, we've got a lot to get to right here and right now. So game number 1, Panthers and the Falcons. The Falcons favored by 3.5. The total is 40. Probably I'm going to come to you because you like 2 props in this game, and I think you can kind of validate what Sia just said about now getting all of your props from BetMGM.
Yeah, very excited about this new relationship and partnership that we have with MGM, Coach. They're a fantastic book, particularly for props. They have some of the softest lines of any major sports book. So I am very excited about this partnership, Coach. And yeah, 2 plays from this game, starting with Bijan Robinson, over 13.5 rushing attempts. This line is long gone now on most major books. Incredible closing line value we got here. So if you paid attention, watch the Friday prop show, or you are a SportsLine subscriber, you got an excellent number here. But Bijan, he is going to be the focal point of this Atlanta Falcons rushing attack. Last season, they ran the ball as much as any team in the NFL, and that was before getting a generational talent who is the best running back prospect since Adrian Peterson, according to a lot of pundits. So absolutely love that play for Bijan. I'd play it up to 15.5, probably scale down to a half unit there, Coach. And then we're going to go Desmond Ridder. We're going to go take a look at the Falcons quarterback, under 27.5 passing attempts. As I mentioned, this offense really likes to run the football. They are a low volume passing attack. As a result of running the football, they play in a lot of low-volume passing environments as well. So I think the Falcons are going to do what they do best. They're going to feed Bijan. They are going to run the ball. They're going to invite Carolina to run the ball as well, and you're going to see Desmond Ridder go under 27.5 passing attempts as well.
And he's a year 2 quarterback. And see, as I come to you, the Panthers have a year 1 quarterback, the number 1 pick in the draft, Bryce Young. Where are you looking at, total or on the line?
I'm looking on the line on the other side of it. I mean, listen, Bryce Young, I think, is going to end up being a pretty good quarterback, but I've been on the record that the Atlanta Falcons are live to win the NFC South. And I honestly think this is a good team behind Arthur Smith's game plan. I mean, we know the Falcons are good with the running game and everything that Proppy just mentioned, but let's talk about Carolina for a second. They've got that rookie quarterback. The offensive line is a little shaky. I think a lot of people think this is a great offensive line. I think it's an average offensive line. Their defense is good, no doubt, but there's really no skill position weapons to worry about. Atlanta on the other side, they'll just bludgeon you with the running game. I mean, it was, let's see, Tyler Algier, 4.9 yards per carry. That's a really good yards per carry last year. Well, now you get Bijan Robinson, or I should say Bijan Robinson. That's how he says it. I just think this running attack is too good. Give me Arthur Smith. Give me the Falcons -3.5.
Yeah, shout out to Texas getting it done on the road yesterday against Alabama. That's where Bijan Robinson came from. Now, can we real quick say, well done, AB, in the chat? The reason we were a couple of minutes late, look at the graphics on the screen. I mean, that's next level kind of stuff. That's what AB's doing in his dead time. Then he has to be a talent as well. AB, talk to me.
Yeah, man. First off, congratulations to everybody and a huge thank you to everyone in the Early Edge crew. Like, I mean, we say it all the time. You are the best. You're just the best in the business, man. And, we couldn't do it without you guys. Now, speaking of that, all right, here's the deal. All right, so we're looking at this game. All right, talking about who's better on the field, off the field. I don't know how the Panthers are going to stay in this game. And yes, I understand we're talking about the Falcons as well. But, I mean, I don't know if they can protect your boy back there at quarterback, right? I don't know how they're going to score. They've got issues at wide receiver. They've got issues on the offensive line. And you look at Arthur Smith and the Atlanta Falcons, this team and this quarterback and this coach, look, they've been working tirelessly to get this thing going. They've got a run game. They're going to try to expand the field there, what we call some intercontinental routes down deep. I just can't roll the Panthers here, man. I like what they're doing, but it's just not now, man. The Falcons are too far ahead.
I'll be transparent. What I did was I bought the full point for like 20 or 30 cents and bought it to 4.5. I just don't see a scenario where the Falcons win by 4.5, but I could be wrong. By the way, Todd Live for Sunday says, watching other vids all morning and getting some suggestions, but this is the real show to watch before kickoff. Welcome back. Todd, I couldn't say it any better myself. Now, Counselor, I'm coming to you. Game number 2. Bengals laying 1.5 at the Browns. Total 47.5, courtesy BetMGM. Now, we've got 2 picks here from Uncle Dave on the prop show. Deshaun Watson over 23.5 rushing yards. Still the number is there. Joe Burrow over a half an interception. An AB special plus 106. Counselor, the number, the total, or a prop?
Yeah, this one's a lean for me, whereas, by the way, Atlanta was an official play up on SportsLine. It's been there all morning. But my lean is the Browns here. The Browns at home, I think it's a formidable team. I mean, you could make the argument that Joe Burrow might be a little rusty, but the truth is, I think Deshaun Watson's actually going to be pretty good. I know we didn't see it in the preseason too much, but I actually believe in this offense behind Nick Chubb, Elijah Moore, Amari Cooper, David Njoku. I think it's going to be a back-and-forth game. I'll take the home team getting the points.
All right, AB, let me come to you. This one's very tight. Joe Burrow, we don't know how healthy he is. We know his bank account is very, very healthy, but we don't know about him. Talk to me.
Yeah, that's a big question, obviously, for that team, right? But look, I think Burrow's going to be good to go, right? Like, I think he's going to be healthy. Now, Sia brought it up. We don't know about the rust factor, right? Like, I am concerned a little bit about that, especially with him and that offense. They will be putting the ball in the air. Look, both teams are going to try to run the football. Cleveland's going to try to run the football. But I think Dave nailed it in regards to this game, with taking Joe Burrow on the interception route. I think it's a smart move because he was exactly right on the Friday prop show. This Browns defense is better. They got better at the defensive coordinator position. They added pieces this offseason. They're going to give the Bengals fits, and that would be if Joe Burrow's at 100%. If he's at 90%, which we probably think that he is, yeah, like they're going to give him problems. And then they can run the football, man, hard on you. And they got a good quarterback too, man. So I'm fascinated to see this game. I think it's going to be pretty muddy. It's going to be an old school AFC North game, but I think Dave nailed it. Burrow, interception at plus money, smart play.
Especially when you haven't seen him for the entire month of the preseason. So probably come to you. If we all think it's going to be a tight game, maybe we still steer clear of the line and maybe attack the total, or what are you looking at?
Yeah, Coach. Interestingly enough, this is actually the one game I don't have any official selections from. As far as the Cleveland Browns are concerned, I'm taking a wait-and-see approach with this offense. Obviously, Deshaun Watson last season did not look like the same quarterback that was an MVP candidate in Houston. I need to see it before I'm willing to take a shot on props. As far as the Bengals are concerned, yeah, there could be some rust there as well with Joe Burrow. So, yeah, taking a wait-and-see approach. I do agree that Browns defense in the offseason got a lot better on paper. So we'll be paying very close attention to this matchup. Going to set up kind of how I approach both these teams moving forward.
I would encourage you to follow my guy. He uses trends. He uses information for today or for next week because we're always working. If you guys don't think I don't have my pad and my pen and I'm hosting the damn show, I do. I do. By the way, Stacy in the chat said, so if we don't have it, BetMGM, these picks don't help us? Every book has these picks. We're just using the lines from BetMGM. Stacy, don't get it twisted. We got you. We got you. Now, game number 3. And this is kind of a sexy pick. I've seen people picking this team, the favorite, to go all the way to the Super Bowl. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. AB, I'm going to start with you. Jags are laying 4.5 in Indianapolis. Rookie quarterback. Total is 46. I'm looking at PropStarz name. AB, start us off because the Jags, this is a yucky number for me. It really is.
Yeah, it is. I totally get it. Now, I'll say this. Count me in as one of the people that was heavy on the Jaguars because not only is this team well coached with Doug Peterson, we saw it last year, and we saw it in Philadelphia. Number 2, Trevor Lawrence is a really good quarterback. They've gotten better at the wide receiver position, adding Calvin Ridley. They've got a defense. They've got Etienne running the football. Like, this is a solid team in a division of the AFC South that really isn't that good. And we've seen Jacksonville handle their business against the Colts previously over and over. So my official play in this game is this, and we're going to kind of take what we've done in baseball, but we're going to do it here. Anthony Richardson, the no-fly zone is open, my man. 1+ interception, and the Jaguars team total over 19.5. You're going to get that at +100. Anthony Richardson, he's throwing a pick today. The Jaguars, they're scoring over 20 points today, and you're going to get that at +100. Look, man, the Colts, they're a disaster internally. All over from the owner all the way down. And the Jaguars, buddy, they're a complete opposite. This team is ready to go.
Oh, Proppy, I need you because I didn't know about that Jags team total, so I got to bet that right now live on the show. But Proppy, as I come to you, you hear AB, everything AB said, nothing for the Colts, everything for the Jags. Do you agree?
I do agree. I have a prop that I haven't given out anywhere exclusively for this show right now. So we're going to take the aforementioned Anthony Richardson, under 29.5 passing attempts. I think this number is way too big for Richardson, making his first career start. 30 passing attempts. I just think this number is going to be closer to 25, 26. He has a huge arm. He is one of the best athletes we've ever seen at the quarterback position, but he's a very inexperienced passer. He does not have a lot of touch when it comes to the short and intermediate areas part of the field. He has an absolute cannon for an arm, but I just do not think he is going to be throwing the football very much today. I think the Colts are going to have a very conservative game plan, limit his passing attempts, and as a result, we're only going to see him have maybe 25, 26 passing attempts. And I think this is the last time we're going to see this number up this high. 2 other props from this game that I gave out. Unfortunately, these numbers are long gone. Gave them out early in the week. That is Calvin Ridley, the new wide receiver 1 in Jacksonville, over 58.5 receiving yards after watching him in the preseason. Talk about rust. This guy looked absolutely phenomenal. He actually looked better than he did, in my opinion, in Atlanta, where he was an absolute alpha wide receiver 1. I think it's going to immediately translate on the field in Jacksonville, who is going to be the opposite of Indianapolis, have a high volume passing attack, and he is going to be the focal point of that. So I like this play up to about 62, 63.5 yards, where you can actually find it on some books. You could always scale down if you didn't get the number that we gave out at 58.5. And then I'm going to fade Michael Pittman Jr. under 50. 53.5 receiving yards. He runs almost all of his routes exclusively close to the line of scrimmage, has a 7-yard average depth of target. That is very low for a wide receiver. I mentioned Richardson. He really struggles in those short and intermediate routes. I just don't think that Michael Pittman is the type of receiver that really fits with Richardson's skill set. I also don't see Richardson throwing the ball that many times. That's why I think Michael Pittman Jr. is an excellent fade, under 53.5 receiving yards. I played this one down to 49.5, where it is currently at. Maybe scale down there to half a unit as well, but love that fade.
Coach, can I add one thing? I didn't mean to interrupt you. What Props just said in regards to Anthony Richardson, if you watched him at Florida at all last year, I'm fascinated to see what it looks like on second and mid to short, third short, because he will use his legs very quickly. He will go to those legs, especially being a rookie, especially starting in your first game. He'll use them. You've got to have good gap integrity. This is a big body dude too. Like, not to use the Cam Newton thing that everybody uses for any quarterback like that, but this dude's big. Like, he's a heavy dude, 100%. It's a great play by Props.
Go, Proppy.
Size of Cam Newton with the speed of Lamar Jackson. AB was a king. I think this guy may be the best athletic prospect we've ever seen at quarterback. I think that's a great point. I wanted to hit on it real quickly too. I do expect Richardson to run the football a ton. I also expect the Colts to have a very run-heavy game plan as well, and just run today.
For those of you that are brand new to this brand, the leading sports betting brand in all the world, presented by BetMGM, when Proppy gets like that, I would listen. When his eyes pop and his veins go, I would listen. This is what he does. This is his life. Counselor, let me come to you, because a few people don't believe me when I say you drove 1,000 miles. They think you don't have a new setup. Can you educate the people a little bit? Am I lying?
No. So what happened was, I wanted to be on the Thursday night football show down in Fort Lauderdale. So I stayed for that show specifically. Then got in my car Friday morning and I drove over 1,000 miles. Day one, I drove 12 hours. Day two, I drove 6 hours. And I got here and I set up my studio. You can see there's a couple of little changes, but the same stuff is on the wall, because I needed to be here for this show, for kickoff, for Sunday Night Football. And Coach, oh, by the way, I mean, as far as this game is concerned, by the way, Sam Howell objects. He is clearly the most athletic quarterback in the league. I say that because I'm in Washington now, of course. It's a joke. But I will say this. I mean, I'm not a Jacksonville guy this year, but when you see what's on the other side of the ball, we have no Zach Moss. We have no Jonathan Taylor. We have a pretty bad secondary against a team that can throw the ball around a lot with a new weapon in Calvin Ridley. And don't forget what else they have in terms of the receiving core. This just seems like a really bad spot for Indianapolis right now, especially when you factor in Anthony Richardson being a young quarterback and probably, he hasn't seen anything in the preseason with respect to any sort of complex defenses. I think he could have trouble. I think he might be okay for fantasy, but I think he's going to have some trouble. So I'm actually on Jacksonville here.
All right. Very, very good. By the way, raving derelict, you don't think I don't see? Because wonder why are we not getting other? You guys act like we sat here and gave you 8 different books and 8 different lines. Let's relax. Let's just relax. I don't want to say something. Coach will yell at me. What? You guys, we give out the numbers that we have. This is the growth of a show. You're acting like it's a bad thing. This is a fantastic thing. Oh, my gosh. Stop with the negativity. It's only like one person because all of you love it, but I want everybody. I want 100% today. Now, game number 4. We got to speed it up just a little bit because of my rants. Bucs and the Vikings. Justin Jefferson, he wanted a new contract. Didn't get it, but he will be on the field today. AB, I'm going to start with you. Vikings, 4.5, and these numbers are fluid. So if you see something different on the screen, it's as they're changing in real time for us. Total 45.5. Dave put out Jordan Addison. He's going to be a dynamic rookie, over 39.5 receiving yards. His number is still there, and the Maestro is on the Buccaneers plus the 6. AB, do you agree with the Maestro?
No, I'm with the Vikings here. Like, what am I supposed to trust with the Bucs, right? Like, we keep talking about how good that they are and that they're going to do all these things and that the Vikings are going to fall apart. Now, I'm not the biggest Vikings backer in the world, but this team's got talent. And Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback than people give him credit for. And the fact that you're adding wide receivers to what already arguably is the best wide receiver in the NFL, dude, like, I don't know. And the Bucs have to go do it on the road as well. I'm just not buying it. And again, like, nothing negative against them, but the Vikings are a much better team, a much better roster, just up and down the board. Defense can get a little wild. I get that, but they're going to have to score a lot of points, and I don't know if they can do it.
And now all of a sudden, Counselor, you've got Kirk Cousins, who apparently is this great actor. He's in quarterback. He becomes a fan favorite. And then he's in the NFL commercial, which, by the way, one of the greatest of all time, with it outer shirt on and with chains. But this man can play. He's a baller. Talk to me.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. He's good enough to run an offense with what Allan talked about. I mean, you got Jordan Addison added to the mix with TJ Hawkinson, Justin Jefferson. This is just a bad spot for the Buccaneers. I will say this about the Minnesota Vikings, too. I mean, by the way, this isn't an official play for me. It's really a lean, if anything, but I do like the Vikings -4.5. Don't forget, they added some pieces in the secondary. So while this defense was a mess, and by the way, I'd say the same for the Atlanta Falcons, they added a ton of pieces in the offseason. But for this game, I think the Vikings defense is actually a touch better than people think. Not that it's a great defense, but it's a touch better than people think. And when you look at the other side of the ball, I just don't know how Tampa is really going to hurt you over 4 quarters. I like the Vikings -4.5.
All right, and Proppy, let me come to you. So 2 people on the Vikings today. They just have so many weapons, which leads us to props that are in play. What do you like?
I like the Vikings quite a bit as well. I think they're being slept on both to win the division, to win this game. So I'm very high on the Vikings, particularly this offense. I think this is going to be one of the most explosive offenses in the league, a high-volume passing attack, weapons all over the field. Adding Jordan Addison is huge, in my opinion. One of the most productive receivers in college football history. He is extremely polished. He is going to come in, make a huge impact from day one. So I really like this pick from Dave. I also like the Vikings to win today. This Bucs team is a mess, particularly offensively. They're going to really struggle scoring the football. Just not a very fast team, slow everywhere. Last season, they averaged 75 rushing yards per game. The team that finished second to last in the NFL averaged 95. So this was the worst running offense in the league by a significant margin. That was obviously with Tom Brady under center as well. I think this offense could regress even further, take a step back. So I'm all over the Vikings. Love the Vikings skill position players both this week and season long.
All right, 3 for 3. By the way, we're halfway done with the 1 p.m. We're going to speed it up just a little bit. This is the Early Edge presented by BetMGM. We'll be here every single Sunday at noon and 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Counselor, I'm going to start with you on this one. Titans and the Saints. Not a whole lot on this one collectively, but we do have some picks from the Tuesday show and the prop show. Saints are favored by 2.5. The total 41.5. EC, he's on Juwan Johnson over 27.5 receiving yards. Uncle Dave, Ryan Tannehill over 30.5 pass attempts. That is still there. And RJ loves the Titans when it was 3 back on Tuesday. Let's start there, Counselor. Do you agree with RJ?
Yeah, I do. And you might want to buy that half a point. I put 3 plays officially on the SportsLine app against the spread. One of them already cashed, the Detroit Lions. Thank you very much. But one of them was going to be, if I had a 4th one, it would be the Titans plus 2.5, or here at BetMGM, it's plus 3 at -115. I like that. I think the Derrick Henry show is going to be fully aboard on this game. And by the way, the defensive line took some hits for the Saints in the offseason. I don't think this defense is super formidable. I think the Titans are going to be able to move the ball.
Probably let me come to you, because we already have Ryan Tannehill over 30.5 pass attempts, which would lead us to believe that with a new offense and a new philosophy, maybe the Titans open their offense up just a little bit.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. Obviously, adding DeAndre Hopkins, an alpha wide receiver 1, he's certainly going to command 8 to 12 targets per game. I do expect the Titans just to run the football. That's kind of what their offense is predicated on, built on. Address offensive line in the draft as well, adding a top 10 pick, an absolute baller to the run game. But yeah, as far as this game is concerned in particular, I did get out a couple plays on SportsLine. If you are a subscriber, you have had access to this. I like Derek Carr over 31.5 passing attempts. This number is too low, even despite him making his debut with New Orleans. They have a very thin running back depth chart with no Alvin Kamara, who's obviously suspended. Kendre Miller as well, the rookie running back, is inactive for this game. So I expect Carr to sling the ball quite a bit. The Titans are also a significant pass funnel, mainly because of their run defense being very strong. They invite teams to throw the football. Last year, they gave up the 3rd most passing yards to opponents. So I think we'll see the Saints come out, attack the Titans secondary. I also love Chris Olave today, over 66.5 receiving yards. I think he's primed for an absolute monster season, and we're going to see a glimpse of that today.
I hope that late night fight was worth it, AB, for Kamara, because that's a big time loss for the Saints.
It's a huge loss for the Saints. And especially, here's the problem, is that you have two teams that kind of have brand new things going on offensively. The Titans, Tim Kelly, offensive coordinator, even though he was the passing game coordinator and he's been there, now you're the guy, though. Now you're calling plays, all right? Number two, the Saints have a brand new quarterback in Derek Carr, and you've got just a mess of an offensive line for Tennessee. One player suspended for gambling. They've got just really nobody. It's one of the worst offensive lines in the league, all right? Saints, defense is pretty good. Really can't stop the run, but I don't know if the Titans can really run the football. They also have one of the worst wide receiver cores in the NFL. So I say all that to say this. A month ago, I put in on SportsLine to take the under 42 in this game. That's right. A month ago. It was so early. RJ and Larry were like, what are you doing, buddy? It's a little early for this. But you know what? I felt it, and I still feel it now. Number two, what do you do when you have a team like Tennessee who's pretty good offensively, but they have a problem finishing the drive with a touchdown? All right, averaged around 17.5 points last year. You take the kicker. Nick Folk just came from New England to Tennessee. Over 1.5 field goals here, minus 110. That's where we're going to play. That's where we're going to ride because Tennessee will move the ball. I don't know if they're going to punch in touchdown after touchdown after touchdown, but Mike Vrabel's not afraid to kick field goals, especially with a guy that he trusts. So, under field goals, Nick Folk over 1.5, and feel good. Everybody likes watching field goals, don't they?
Oh, all day. Apparently, and I'm living in the twilight zone today. I know you guys have been waiting for NFL, but my goodness. Sinful Saints said, did they skip the Steelers game or am I tripping? Sean says, you missed the Steelers game. We're doing every single game on the board. At least I hope we get to every single game on the board. The next game is the 49ers and the Steelers. Relax in the chat. Damn. By the way, did I tell you we're presented by BetMGM? So let's set you off again. Damn, relax, people. Relax. All right, so here's the number.
I like everybody amped up. Let's go.
I like it too. Damn, we've been doing this for a minute. We know what we're doing. All right, Counselor, I'm coming to you because this is one of your official plays. 49ers, they got Brock Purdy back. His elbow appears to be completely healthy. Trey Lance is gone. They appear to be the second favorite pick in the NFC behind the Eagles. Do they win and cover today?
Yeah, I think they do. I mean, I think when it comes to the Steelers, and apparently I'm guessing there's some Steelers fans in the chat based on those questions. You know, I think we're looking at the preseason a little bit too hard. I think Kenny Pickett is going to be a better quarterback. I think Pickens and Deontay Johnson, they're going to be okay. The running game is going to be average to below average with Warren and Najee Harris. But at the end of the day, this Niners defense is too good. Even without Bosa, it's too good. But with Bosa, it's certainly too good. I think they're going to suffocate the Pittsburgh offense. To the extent you don't believe in Brock Purdy, I get that, especially coming off an injury. But this is not a Brock Purdy bet, and it's not even a defense bet. It's a Kyle Shanahan bet. He's going to put all of those weapons, namely Debo, Ayuk, and Christian McCaffrey, in space, and it's going to churn out enough yards to get them in field goal position and score a touchdown or two. Give me the Niners to win this one. It might even be easier than you think.
And I actually played them on the money line, like a minus 123 to take the 2 points out, but I don't mind the two as well. AB, what about you?
Yeah, I actually have 3 plays on this game, and I'll go quick because I know that we've got a lot more, and everybody's waiting for the Steelers game. Oh, wait, it's right here. All right, so what we're going to do is this. All right. What do you do when you have two teams that have great defenses and quarterbacks with question marks? They're going to run the football, and they're going to punt and play field position football, okay? That's what Shanahan and Mike Tomlin will do. So first off, we're going to take the first half under 20.5. There's also rain on the East Coast all over the board, so make sure to pay attention to that. We're also going to play the under in the full game of under 41.5. Both of those are at minus 110. Again, I think Sia nailed it right there. You're going to see two teams that have quarterbacks that, you know what? You can't win the game in the first half, but you certainly can lose the game in the first half if you make dumb mistakes. So they're not going to have a ton of pass attempts. And lastly, the 49ers are going to finish this game and win this game. I'm going to take them at over 2.5 touchdowns today. Whole team, offensively, defensively. If a fan jumps on the field, wants to take it to the house, whatever. Over 2.5. And you're going to get that at plus 120. So there you go.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Last year we learned, Proppy, that just because you have big names on a team doesn't mean the overs always come in. McCaffrey, Debo, doesn't mean that. What do you see when you see this game?
Yeah, one guy I like quite a bit, Coach, gave this out on the site, is Brandon Ayuk over 46.5 receiving yards. Find this somewhat close. I think this settled around 49, 50 yards. I'd still play it there, but again, maybe scaled down to half a unit there. But one thing we saw when Brock Purdy took over was he had an excellent connection with Brandon Ayuk, who really broke out last season, over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. I think he's one of the better young receivers in the league, and I think he takes another step forward this season, and that connection is going to continue to build and build. One thing I'll also be paying close attention to is how the backfield touches in Pittsburgh are allocated between Najee Harris and Jalen Warren. Najee Harris had that very strong rookie season. Last year, though, didn't look very good, didn't have a lot of burst. Warren, on the other hand, looked a lot more explosive, has more of a 3-down skill set. Thought to be that Najee Harris was going to get 75, maybe 80% of the backfield touches. A report came out, I believe, late last night saying could be closer to a 60-40 split. So something I'll be paying very close attention to, and I would implore everyone else to as well.
A lot of great information there. Game number 7 at 1 o'clock, Cardinals and the Commanders. The Cardinals, they're going with a quarterback that's been on the team for 2.5 weeks. What are you doing? But Colt McCoy, good luck to you. Commanders are favored by 7, total at 38. Dave gave out Sam Howell under 28.5 pass attempts. And Proppy, you like Sam Howell, though, to have a decent game because his number is low. Let's start with you.
Coach, do you hear that? Choo, choo. That is the train leaving the station for Sam Howell, the hype train. I am riding shotgun on this train, Coach. I am so excited for this debut for Sam Howell. I am very high on him, over 208.5 passing yards. I think this new Commanders offense is going to be very explosive, and this is a fantastic matchup. Week 1 against a team that was the second biggest pass funnel in the league besides Miami last year. We're going to see 2 elite wide receivers who are both very explosive downfield options. One who's a major breakout candidate, and Jahan Dotson as well. We know Terry McLaurin is already a very good wide receiver, so I love Sam Howell. I think he's going to be hyper efficient. He was fantastic in the preseason. He's got an absolute cupcake of a matchup in week 1. I think he's going to shred this Cardinals secondary, which is a complete sieve. So I like Sam Howell to pick up tons of plays and have a fantastic week 1 performance.
See, that's got to be music to your ears. Commanders, they're your squad. Tell me why they can cover 7. Oh, no.
I saw Allan laughing, and I'm like, you know what? I'm that guy. Listen, I agree with Proppy, at least to the extent that Washington's going to dominate this game. So, I mean, I really think it comes down to the defense. I mean, it's Dobbs starting, right? Welcome to the Dobbs experience. It's the same thing that happened to him with the Tennessee Titans last year, where he was rolled out after 4 or 5 days and then rolled out again in a must-win. I think Dobbs is okay, but this defense is too good. They upgraded the secondary, the offense with the running game and the passing game. So I think the Commanders win by double digits here.
All right, AB, what do you say you?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll even put myself on a solo shot here. I'll keep it quick. Watch out for Josh Dobbs. He's faster than you think. He's smarter than you think. He can do some things. I'm taking the Commanders. I'm taking the Cardinals here because, look, I think that they actually, in the locker room, find some peace with Josh Dobbs. Like, it's been craziness, and he's the perfect guy to calm things down. I'm going to roll the Cardinals.
His number is like 195.5 was his passing number. And I know somebody at SportsLine took them. By the way, if you're not a SportsLine member, what are you doing? We're going to do you a solid right here, right now. We want you to become a member because we're growing. We're growing. I'm going to give you 60% off. Use a promo code COACH right here, right now if you're not a member. And apparently, according to the chat, there's a lot of new people today, or a lot of OGs that think they're new today. So there you go. Use that promo code COACH. So many people, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people have been using this promo code. We want you to be the next one. One more game at 1 o'clock. Then we're going to do like a speed round for the 425s. All right. Texans and the Ravens. If you guys saw me on TikTok, then you know this is my lock of the week. It was 10 earlier. It's actually gone down, counselor, to 9.5. You're now living in the area. Baltimore, a lot of people think this could be a great year for them. How about you?
Yeah, I'm definitely one of them. I honestly, I think they're the best team in their division. I know there's other teams that have something to say about that, mostly the Bengals, but I think the Ravens roll here. I think Houston, first of all, CJ Stroud, I don't think he's going to have a great year. The offensive line is really banged up. The skill position, Nico Collins, your best receiver. I mean, I think John Mechie's good. He's not even playing. This is going to present a lot of problems, especially when you have Lamar with a new offensive coordinator. He's going to be more dynamic with his arm, but he's got J.K. Dobbins healthy too, a good offensive line, a good scheme. Lamar's going to run a little bit too. I don't know how this Houston defense, which is marginally improved from last year's basically dead last defense, I don't know how they're going to stop the Ravens over 4 quarters. I think the Ravens sail. It's a big number. It's almost like a trappish number with a great team against a very bad team, but I'm taking it. Give me the Ravens -9.5.
AB, Ravens -9.5. I'm on it. C is on it. Are you on it?
Well, I'll tell you what, I like it, but I found a little cheat code here. All right, everybody follow me on this one. Put together a little 2-leg same game parlay of this, okay? You're going to take C.J. Stroud, 1 interception or more, and the Ravens to score over 2.5 touchdowns, plus 135.
Wow.
Plus 135 for that. The guy's making his first start ever in the NFL with the worst team in the NFL on the road against a Ravens team that is angry from last year and how everything went down. They're going to score 3 touchdowns. C.J. Stroud's going to throw an interception. Take it. Plus 135. Beautiful.
So many different ways to attack a game. If you're new to football betting, that's why you come here. It's not just about money lines and totals. Probably let me come to you because there's a lot of different things that could happen in this game. The third of 3 rookie starting quarterbacks starting week 1. We hardly ever see that. Your thoughts?
Yeah, interesting matchup. I'm also, as Sia mentioned, he's very bullish on the Ravens this season. I am as well. I think they're in store for a great year. Love J.K. Dobbins in this matchup. If you watched the Friday prop show, EC gave this pick out. I also gave this out on the site. Couple yards better closing value, though, if you followed me there. But, yeah, I think this is going to be a great spot for J.K. Dobbins against one of the worst run defenses in NFL history last season. I do think they'll be improved under DeMeco Ryans. I did add a couple of pieces, but this is still going to be a below-average run defense. The Ravens run the football so well, especially when you have Lamar Jackson in the backfield. Over the final quarter of the season last year, J.K. Dobbins was averaging 100 rushing yards per game, nearly 7 yards per carry. That was without Lamar on the field as well. In the offseason, John Harbaugh proclaimed him to be 100% healthy from that devastating knee injury that he suffered in the 2021 season. So I think J.K. Dobbins is going to run roughshod over outmatch Houston Texans front. I also like Nico Collins, Texans wide receiver, very likely to be C.J. Stroud's number 1 target to go over 3.5 receptions in this game as well.
All right. Also, RJ is on the Texans under team total 16.5. That is from our NFL Mega Preview on Tuesdays every week at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, I think a lot of you out there have had some bad experiences with other lower profile shows. You guys know me. You know us. If I look you in the eye and tell you we're going to do something, damn it, we're going to do it. And we're going to do it the right way. So listen to this. When BetMGM called us, they said, hey, we want to be partners. I said, we only do it one way. We benefit our audience. We're truthful and we're transparent. So here's what we're going to do. If you want to sign up today, and you make a bet that's at least $10, that's all it is. There's no strings attached, nothing. We're going to give you $200 right into your bet account, and you can play with it. It doesn't matter if you win, doesn't matter if you lose. $10, you get $200. You're not going to get any of those forget everything you know. We have changed the game. We're going to continue to change the game, and we're going to do it with BetMGM. You have my word. And if you have any questions, put them into the chat. You guys know us. We would not partner with anybody that doesn't do it our way. Period. End of story. Now, gentlemen, I only need 2 nuggets on each one of these games because we still have 5 more to get to. All right? 2 nuggets. That's it. That's it. Kind of a speed round for 425. So let's start with the Packers and the Bears. AB, I'll start with you. 1.5, 41.5. I've seen picks all over the board from our prop show. EC, AJ Dillon, over 43.5 rushing yards. And Justin Fields, this number's now at 59. He gave it out at 55. Hashtag it pays to watch live. So, AB, where are we going?
Yep, I'll give you 1 nugget and a pick. All right, the first nugget is this. Yeah, the Packers, they've won 8 straight against the Bears, and I think that they're going to make it 9 here. Number 2, we are taking your boy, Justin Fields, over half an interception at -125 because, yeah, quietly, the Packers were one of the best defenses in the NFL last season in takeaways. They did some other things pretty horrifically, but they did take away both in the air and on the ground. So, yeah, Justin Fields, Sorry, buddy. No fly zone. Open tonight, boy.
Proppy, talk to me.
Yeah, I like the quarterback in Green Bay, Jordan Love, over 13.5 rushing yards. He has been playing in this system for a while. He is going to be comfortable. I think he's going to exceed expectations. This is a fantastic matchup against a Bears defense that was historically bad, did not improve a lot in the offseason either. I like Love. We saw he ran quite a bit in the preseason. No Christian Watson is number one weapon either. I think he relies on his legs a bit more in this matchup. Love this spot.
All right, Counsel, let me come to you. I love reading this. Big J Parlay says BetMGM has a boost for Justin Fields anytime touchdown and a Bears win, plus 350. I actually like that. He says it's solid. Do you like it?
It's a solid number at plus 350. The problem is I kind of like the Packers here in what might end up being a lower scoring game. And that's predicated on the fact that, first of all, Watson being out, I do think is a big deal. But this defense is really good for Green Bay. And I don't think the defense for Chicago is very good. And I think what you're going to see is a conservative game plan, running a lot of clock with A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones. Don't be surprised if Aaron Jones catches some passes too. At the end of the day, though, I think the defense for the Packers and the offensive line's a little too good for the Bears. So I like the Packers to cover.
Man, I would love to see a competitive game here, though. I really, really would. I think that's great analysis by you. All right, game number 2 at 425. Raiders and the Broncos. Broncos land 3, total 43. They've been an absolute mess. Sean Payton talking about everybody. His quarterback apparently isn't good enough. And probably let's start with you. RJ, from our mega preview on Tuesday, when it was 3.5, it's now gone down. He likes the Broncos. Let's start there. Do you like the Broncos?
I do lean towards the Broncos. I don't think Sean Payton would have come back had he not had a tremendous amount of confidence in Russell Wilson. I do think we see Russell Wilson play a lot better than what we saw last year. I like some of these options that he has, weapons offensively as well. This is a great matchup against a Raiders defense that I think is going to be well below average, particularly in the secondary. So I am curious to see. It didn't have a lot of plays for me from this game, but this is kind of similar to how I mentioned with Deshaun Watson. I'm kind of taking a wait-and-see approach with Russell Wilson, but I do expect a bounce back starting today.
Maybe it's got to be a little bit of extra motivation that these two teams saw the Chiefs lose on Thursday, and now they say, hey, we could be – I know it's one game, but being in first place at any time is a positive thing.
Yeah, it is a positive thing. And I'll also give you a positive thing right here, Coach. I not only do not have any plays on this game, I don't even want to watch this game. I saw the Broncos so many times last year in primetime, and it was horrible, horrible. Now, I do think that they're going to be better. I think everything Prop said is spot on. But no, the Broncos have to prove it to me. I'll roll with the Raiders or anyone else that they're playing until the Broncos prove it to me.
Counselor, you're shaking your head.
I agree with both of these guys. I mean, I think this is a game you do want to wait and see, especially with such unknown at the quarterback position with Jimmy G and with Russell Wilson. But if I have to take something here, it's the Raiders plus 3. Don't forget the Broncos have a lot of injuries, particularly at the receiver position. I mean, Russ is supposed to bounce back, and he doesn't have like 3 of the receivers that we thought he was going to have 3 months ago. So this is one of those situations where I think the Raiders are getting undervalued. That's why this line came down from 3.5 to 3. Josh Jacobs is back. He's expected to get a full workload. Give me the Raiders here, plus the points.
Yeah, hey, real quick. Sorry, Coach. I didn't interrupt you again, but who's the head coach of the Raiders?
Josh McDaniels.
Where did he used to coach?
New England.
Before that?
And Denver.
Oh, he's the head coach at Denver, yeah.
Yeah. I've met Josh McDaniels a couple times. Your boy, he keeps receipts. Let me just say that.
It was so forgettable. I forgot that he was ever the head coach.
Oh, it was bad. Yeah, it wasn't good.
It was so bad. So bad. All right, game number 3. Speaking of the Patriots, AB, quite the tease. Almost as if you've done this before. So let's start with you. The Eagles are favored by 3.5. This has been at 4.5. It's been at 4. The total 44.5. RJ likes the Eagles when it was 3.5, which is where it is right now. AB, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, look, you're never going to find me fading the Eagles. This team was unbelievable last year, and they got better this year. That being said, though, I have an interesting play in this game that I think we could find some real nice value. All right, we're going to take total punts in this game over 8.5. The Patriots defense is legit, and they can give fits to quarterbacks that are mobile and run the football. Now, again, I'm taking the Eagles, all of that, but this game could be pretty ugly. It usually is, and especially if you mix in weather. Yeah, I'm taking over 8.5 punts because New England's going to punt the football too. Yeah, I'm riding that one hard.
Leave it to AB to do our interceptions, to do our punts, to do our fumbles. That's what we do. Everybody's got a job. Counselor, your job is to talk to me right now about this game.
Well, he forgot to include a lateral from Jacoby Myers to lose the game against the Raiders. Well, he's not on the team anymore, but yeah, I like the Eagles here. I mean, again, it does seem a little trappy. The Eagles are way better than the Patriots, but it's at New England, and New England has a formidable defense. But at the end of the day, there's just too much power on both sides of the ball for the Philadelphia Eagles, so I expect them to cover this one.
All right, Poppy, what about you, bud?
Yeah, I would concur with these gentlemen. I think the Eagles are just too much to handle in this game for New England. New England has probably the slowest offense in the NFL, probably in the NFL over the last 5 years as well. And some of them got slower in the offseason, adding Ezekiel Elliott. So I really have a hard time seeing this team succeed against this Eagles defense. I'm on Mac Jones under 34.5 passing attempts. I do think the Patriots will try to run the football. The Eagles were a bit of a run funnel last year as well. Interesting development. Rashad Penny is going to be inactive in this game. It was thought that he would potentially lead the Eagles backfield in carries, at least on first and second down. Not the case. Going to be a split in the backfield, likely between Kenny Gainwell and DeAndre Swift. Something to pay attention to is this Eagles backfield.
All right. Keep your eyes on it. They could get out to a big lead. You just never know. You just never know. But it is like watching or feeling like a tooth is being pulled to watch the Patriots play this way. All right. 2 more games to get to. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you very much. By the way, Urban Sidewalk says you need to do the top bet of the day from each person. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Maybe we'll do that starting next week and maybe at the end of the show. So stay tuned. All right. Counselor. Let's start with you. Did you get to talk about the Patriots and Eagles? I got lost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Everybody's good. Everybody's good, right?
It was that forgettable, huh? Great.
Fly, Eagles, fly. That's the sentiment.
All right. This potentially could be the game of the day. And, Counselor, we're going to start with you. Out here in L.A., about 60 miles from where I'm sitting right now, the Chargers are favored by 3 over the Dolphins. The Dolphins may be in the most competitive division in football, so they can't give any games away. So with the number and the total at 51, do you see anything that you like?
Yeah, I have a lean towards the Dolphins here. Listen, I think we're kind of hyping up the Chargers, and I think it's deserved. I don't mean we, this show, but I mean, I think it's deserved from an offensive standpoint. I think they're going to be formidable, but Tua is healthy. He has Waddle. He has, that guy Tyreek Hill, Raheem the Dream Mostert, trademark. I just think this too much when you look at the coaches on the sideline too. McDaniel is such a creative coach, and again with Tua healthy and all of his weapons healthy, I think this is a back and forth game that the Dolphins can win outright. And if they can win it outright, I'm going to go ahead and take the +3.
So +3 for Miami for the Counselor. Probably let me come to you because there are some big names in this game, but there's also some big names that have been hurt a lot the last couple of years. What are you seeing from the lab?
Yeah, fascinating game. Can't wait to watch this one personally. As far as the Chargers are concerned, they are just loaded pretty much everywhere. I'm not quite sure who is going to receive the majority of the targets in this offense when you have weapons everywhere, outside, inside, tight end. Their running back was 3rd in the NFL in receptions last year. So no plays as far as the Chargers are concerned. When we're talking about the Dolphins, we know who those targets are funneled to. It's Tyreek Hill. It's Jalen Waddle. I like Jalen Waddle in this game quite a bit. I haven't given this out as an official pick, but very likely going to go with Jalen Waddle over 65.5 receiving yards.
How about the video of Tyreek Hill saying he doesn't even watch film? He watches me in Madden. Interesting. Dickie Savage says, AB still delivers the nuggies even when Chick-fil-A is closed. I love it. That's what the man does. AB, talk to me.
Yep, I'll keep it quick. Whoever wins the turnover battle in this game is going to win the game. And the problem is this. Justin Herbert doesn't turn the ball over very much. But Tua doesn't either. It's going to be a fun game.
It is going to be a fun game. And he has his money, too. He has his money. There is contentness there. That means you usually play more calmly. All right, final game at 4:25. And a reminder, we will be back, same crew, tonight at 7:30 Eastern time with Phil McKagan from a coaching X's and O's. You guys loved it the other day. Could not believe how many people watched our Thursday show. Thank you for that. So, Counselor, you'll be there tonight. Rams, Seahawks, -4.5, total 46.5. RJ is on the Seahawks. When it was 5, it seems like a lot of these numbers have come in our favor. Van Jefferson over 42.5 receiving yards, -115. That also from RJ. Counselor, what about you?
By the way, if you haven't seen Phil McKagan, he is so good. That episode on Thursday night was elite in terms of his analysis. I'm going to go ahead and take the Seahawks here. I mean, I just think I hate to take the favorite in this one, the kind of obvious favorite, but I think the vibes for the Rams are so down. Granted, they're relatively healthy without Cooper Kupp. I mean, Matt Stafford is healthy. Cam Akers is healthy. Got Sean McVay on the sideline. All of that is good. I think the Seahawks offer just a little bit too much for the depleted Rams, specifically the Rams defense, which I don't think really can keep up. Even if Geno is just average, I don't think they can keep up with the punch of the passing game and Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet in the backfield.
Speaking of the passing game, when the wife of a starting quarterback is getting more headlines for a take than the team, that's a problem. That's a problem. Proppy, Matthew Stafford, he can't get along with the young guys. He's out of touch. What do we do?
It's going to be tough without Cooper Kupp as well. Coach, I honestly think this Seahawks roster is one of the best rosters in the NFL. I think they had one of the best off seasons quietly as well. Absolutely crushed free agency, crushed the draft. The Seahawks defense, in my opinion, is going to quite possibly be a top 5 defense. We know about all the weapons on offense as well. If Geno Smith can just replicate what he looked like in the first 3 quarters of last year, this Seahawks team is going to be tough to beat. I think this is a massive mismatch. I'm all over the Seahawks today.
I am too. I can't believe this is below 6, AB. Can you?
No, look, I'm not even going to give a take on that because these guys were awesome on it, and there's nothing to believe in the Rams whatsoever. But I will say this is how much Proppy feels positively about the Seahawks. About 3 weeks ago, we were texting at 3:30 in the morning, and he just broke down the Seahawks like you wouldn't believe. You know what? I believe my man. Give me the Seahawks here.
There's only 2 things AB is doing at 3 o'clock in the morning. Texting with Proppy about props, or getting hot dogs on the street of Nashville with your boy. One of those 2 things is what he's doing at 3 o'clock in the morning. All right, I'm going to take his advice. Are we doing we got a lot of picks. AB, are we doing a recap screen or no?
Yep, I can put it up right here.
All right, go ahead. Grab your
We
paper.
got 2 of them, so I'm going to go in and out. So
okay, great. Why don't we do this? We'll put them up there. You guys take your screen grab because I'm giving you 6 minutes. We're going to try and give you time at the end of the show, like 7 or 8 minutes to get whatever. Again, take the information. And we know these are a lot of picks. Somebody complained about the amount of picks. Seriously? So take the ones you like or that you've done some of the work yourself. They match up and make those plays. While we're showing you this, let's go around and I'll ask my guys their favorite play of the week. Proppy, let's start with you.
It's got to be Bijan Robinson over 13.5 rushing attempts. This number is long gone for a reason. Very inefficient line. Should have opened at 15.5 or even 16.5. So got to be Bijan. As far as props or numbers that you can get right now, Coach, it's the Anthony Richardson under 29.5 passing attempts.
There you go. Counselor, talk to me.
The Atlanta Falcons are actually a pretty good football team. I'm not saying you should sprinkle anything like I did on plus 2,800 to win the NFC, but I think they're really going to bludgeon the Carolina Panthers with that elite running attack. I think Desmond Ridder is going to take a little step up, maybe a little play action bomb to somebody named Drake London or Kyle Pitts. I don't think Carolina has anything to offer on offense, at least not yet. Give me the Falcons minus 3.5. They roll.
AB?
49ers. Team total touchdowns over 2.5 at plus 120. 100%. I know this game's going to be ugly, and I'm on 2 underplays here. But nah, man, they're going to get 3 touchdowns in this game.
All right, very good. I just got a text to end the show from my man Phil McKagan. He says, good show. Is BetMGM going to pay us restitution for that Pie Gal beating we took in 2019? It's funny because it's true. Come on, give us our money back. All right, we'll be back here tonight live at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, counting down the Cowboys, counting down to the Giants on Sunday Night Football. Also, primetime early edge on Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Same stadium, the Bills and the Jets. So what an incredible Sunday and Monday we have for you. Again, thank you to BetMGM, our brand new partner, every single day. Every single show, they've got our backs and we have theirs, and I know you do at home as well. So for week 1 of the NFL, there's only one thing left to do, and I believe you all know what that is. God, I'm fired up. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these NFL tickets straight to the BetMGM pay window. Oh, for my entire crew, love them all. Our 5-tool player AB, my man Proppy, the counselor. And never forget about Snake, our executive producer, always hovering, always making our shows look like $1 million. I am simply the coach. trying to keep this train on said track. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's truly what we're all about right here at the Early Edge. Good luck today.